2, you know what to do. Well, how you doing there? It's Colin Daniel from riffninja.com. I'm here to give you a taste of what you're going to learn on my new strumming course. And if you want to find out more about it, go to riffninja.com/strumming. In the meantime, let's get on with this. All right, today, right now in this lesson, I'm going to show you how a strum can affect some really basic chords and how important it is, because it's all about this right hand and about getting the right hand on track. Once you get the left hand going to the chords, then the right hand has to do some work. You have to connect with that, right? So we're going to use G, C, and D. And I'm going to use the bar fractioning of half a bar of G, half a bar of C, and half a bar of D. So if we were doing it in quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, for me, that's not a real emotional strum or anything. It's pretty bland, but you could put a little more feeling in it just by the way you strum it. Like you could hit one stronger than the other. It's all about your time, right? About the space between the strums. They're all even, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all about steadiness, right? You don't have to rush it. The idea is to get the changes. If you got the changes and you kind of got the perspective of the time distance between each of the changes, that helps a lot. Count out loud till you get started. Once you get started, you should be able to feel it a little more intuitively. Okay, so that was quarters. Now how about if I just do it in eighths? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's getting a little more interesting. We could add quarters with eighths. We could go like this: 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and that's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm going to replace my quarter strum now with a root note pluck. The root note's the lowest note of the chord. The G chord, the lowest note, is on the 6th string, 3rd fret. The C chord, the lowest root note, is on the 3rd fret, 5th string. And for the D chord, the lowest root note for this chord is the open 4th string. Now, a little pointer here with beginner strummers is they always have a habit of favoring the top strings instead of getting all the strings that belong in a chord to ringing out nice and evenly. So for example, when you're doing this 8th note strum and you play a C, if you play a C major like this, the E string is a real culprit. Listen, if you hit that 6th string too hard, you start to lose the tone of the C chord over the E because the E starts washing it out. So you have to be careful when you're strumming. If you want to make it sound good, that you strum from the 5th string down for the C chord. I prefer to play a C/G, which is a G bass note that's lower than the C root on the 6th string. So now I take my 3rd finger and use it on the 6th string, 3rd fret, and my pinky goes underneath where my 3rd finger used to be on the 5th string, 3rd fret. And now I have a C/G chord, and I have less of a problem with that chord, because if you strum that and stress the 6th string that you're not supposed to be hitting, your C chord doesn't sound that good. Listen. See, it takes away from the C chord. So you have to watch that when you're a beginner. And the D chord too, that's another bad one. Everybody, hitting that 5th and 6th string sure takes away from the sound of the D chord. Listen. As opposed to washes out the chord. So you have to play the strings that belong in the chord and no more, and keep the other ones from ringing out, right? By not hitting them or muting them with your hand. But you have to stop them from ringing out. Okay, that's just a little pointer there to make your strumming better. So in the end, you get a nice clear chord every time. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, right? Now I'm going to add a bass note. Instead of the quarter note, I'm going to go bass note 1, 2, and bass note. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Now, because this is fairly slow, I could add 16ths to that. This is another little bonus for you on this lesson. 16ths are double of the 8ths. 8ths are double of the quarters. If I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, then my 8th notes are going 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and my 16th notes, which are groups of 4, are going 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a... Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do bass note 1, then a 16th note strum for the 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and go to the C, 3, 4, E, and now to the D, 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and notice I struck the A 5th string for the last 2 beats of the D chord, because the A is my other harmony in the D chord, and this works good for a bass note. It's called an inversion. I won't get into the theory behind it, but the A is the 5th of the D, but it's a lower 5th, right? So, and I'm not talking about 5th string. I'm talking about the number 5 in relation to where it sits in the chord harmony in the scale. That's a deeper lesson. I'm not going to touch that today, but it's going to go 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and a 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and you notice I hit the A bass note for the last 2 beats. So 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and a 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and a 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and a 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and a 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and a 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4, E, and a 1. Doesn't that sound great? Oh, sounds great. One more little bonus. Using a mute as part of the groove of the beat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and so 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and I'm going to change the progression a little bit, just a little bit by going back to the C for my last half bar. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and now I'm going to stress the mute like this. So I'm using the mute as a bonus to make the character. So space can also have something to do with how the strum is perceived. In the end, I do this. use the right hand palm as a mute to create a bit of space in between the changes. So you see, the strumming really affects how you approach a chord progression and what the chord progression is perceived as in the end. And that's what really makes the difference between all these songs, because I mean, there are thousands of hit songs that are written off G, C, and D. And I'm telling you, it's the strum and the feel of the chords, not the chords themselves, that make the song. But it's the strum and the feel, the rhythm feel to it, the vibe the vibe of the song is created through the choice of how the strum is executed with the chords. If you'd like to find out more about this strumming stuff, you can check out, and of course my new strumming course, you can find out more about it at riffninja.com/strumming. And I wish you all the best. Good luck. Happy playing. See you soon.